Good morning. My name is Karolina MOJZESOWICZ, and I'm a Deputy Head of Unit with the European Commission, guiding or co-guiding the unit responsible for dealing with questions concerning personal data. It's a pleasure and honor to be with you, even if only in this digital way. I hope very much that the next time I will be able to participate in the conference in person. European data, including personal data, are key for well-functioning of the European single digital market. To reap the full potential from data processing for the benefit of the European people, the Commission developed the European Data Strategy 2 years ago. Since then, a package of landmark digital legislations has been put forward by the Commission, and some of them are already in force, namely the Data Governance Act, the DGA, which aims to facilitate the reuse of certain data held by the public sector, as well as to provide rules on intermediaries for data sharing and data altruism. And the two legislations that regulate the digital services, including social media, online marketplaces, and other online platforms that operate in the EU. The Digital Markets Act, the DMA, and the Digital Services Act, the DSA. These legislations are all about ensuring fairness, transparency, accountability, and democratic oversight, as well as enabling innovation and creating a level playing field. The Data Governance Act aims to facilitate the reuse of certain data held by the public sector, but does not provide for new obligations to disclose data, as well as to provide rules on intermediaries for data sharing. Separately, work on ongoing for preparing initiatives for common sectoral data spaces to facilitate the availability of data is ongoing. I will develop on it in a second. These proposals and initiatives complement the existing EU data protection rules and do not replace them. When personal data is concerned, any data sharing must be in line with the GDPR. This includes that data sharing of personal data must have legal basis in one of the 6 grounds for lawful processing under the GDPR. The proposal for the Data Act, published by the Commission at the beginning of this year, precisely on the 23rd February, is the final building block to support the data strategy. The Commission has therefore delivered on its promise to shape the European economy in a human-centric way. Let me say a few words on the Data Act. It is about ensuring fairness in the data economy by clarifying who can use what data and under which conditions, and thus maximizing the economic value from data processing. It will ensure that a wider range of stakeholders can gain easier access to personal, but also non-personal data. This will enable that more data is available for innovative use while preserving incentives to invest in data generation. To give you an example, the Data Act will provide regulatory tools for facilitating switching between cloud providers, We believe that access to competitive and interoperable data processing services is a precondition for a flourishing data economy. To achieve this, we will support work on common standards, which will help data sharing within and across sectorial ecosystems. Let me reiterate that none of these digital initiatives would be possible without the GDPR. The regulation is solidly embedded in an overall regulatory architecture of the data strategy. This means that any access, use, and sharing of personal data in the EU digital market must be fully in line with all the requirements of the GDPR. I mentioned already the requirement of having the legal basis, one of the 6 legal bases the GDPR provides for. Another requirement is that individuals must be fully informed by the controller when data about them is shared. The information has to be provided in a concise, transparent, intelligible, and easily accessible form. The guiding principle of legislative building blocks of the data strategy is to follow the GDPR approach of empowering people to make choices about their data and obliging organizations to handle them responsibly. Another groundbreaking proposal of the Commission in the digital sphere is currently being discussed by the co-legislators, namely the Artificial Intelligence Act. The Council just adopted the so-called general approach on this Commission proposal. After the Parliament will finalize its works, the next stage, the so-called trilogues between the Council, the European Parliament, and the Commission will start, which will bring when the agreement between the 2 co-legislators, the Council and the European Parliament, will be done, which will bring the adoption of the Artificial Intelligence Act. This is the first of this kind in the world. The objective of the Artificial Intelligence Act is to ensure a future-proof, balanced, and risk-based legal framework for artificial intelligence that protects health, safety, and fundamental rights while fostering innovation, trust, and artificial intelligence development across the EU. The promotion of artificial intelligence-driven innovation is closely linked to the implementation of the data strategy, since artificial intelligence can only thrive when there is smooth and secure access to data of good quality. The proposed Artificial Intelligence Act follows a risk-based approach. We have identified high risks in areas such as education, employment, access to credits or public assistance benefits, law enforcement, migration, and asylum, as well as the justice systems and remote biometric systems like facial recognition applications. The EU already has rules protecting fundamental rights, the GDPR, but certain black box artificial intelligence applications are complex and opaque, what can be a challenge because the decision or outcome of artificial intelligence computation cannot be traced back. The proposal will therefore help to ensure that high-risk artificial intelligence systems are designed in a fundamental rights-compliant way and the new requirements will ensure that possible breaches of fundamental rights obligations can be investigated and addressed by national authorities and courts. In the future, it remains to be seen how compliance with these new legislations in the digital field will be enforced. The Data Protection Supervisory Authority will have a role to play in the monitoring and enforcement of the data protection rules contained in these legislation. The appropriate oversight of the new rules will be the key to their success. Let me underline, artificial intelligence proposals do not hamper innovation. European approach to artificial intelligence is strongly in favor of innovation. We want to realize the positive potential of artificial intelligence. We are fostering innovation both with the regulatory proposal and other measures such as funding, coordination of research, technical help for companies, education, professional upskilling, and more. In terms of regulation, it is, however, important to pursue the right kind of innovation. Most innovation is welcome, and clear set of rules we propose will help innovators everywhere across the EU, because we aim to prevent fragmentation and ensure a level playing field for innovators. Of course, I mentioned already, some types of AI innovation generate risks. I mentioned already black boxes and why we think they need to be addressed in a specific way. AI proposal includes requirements to ensure appropriate documentation and testing of high-risk AI applications, adequate human oversight, and reliability and accuracy of the systems. This will help people to develop trust in the use of artificial intelligence systems, which is also good for innovation. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a very successful participation in the conference. Thank you. Bye.